What's up, team? You guys, I'm back, barely. The flu absolutely crushed me last week, but I apologize for my ragged appearance and my horrible sound, but we're gonna go through this fun little lesson. So look at this overview chart. Tons of dots on here. We're gonna unwind them all, okay? What basically you're looking at is you're looking at triads for GBD. You're looking at a scale, G major. You're looking at C Lydian and D Mixolydian. Don't let those make y'all scared and don't run away, okay? Stay here. It's just rearranged G major scales. So we're in the key of G, okay? So let's go to the first chart, boom. These are linked in the description. Actually, it's a little booklet I made you, all right? So GBD, a triad, 3 notes. So we're gonna look at the harmonic part first, then we're gonna make music, okay? I put chapters in here, it's real easy. So GBD, okay? This is my favorite triad shape right here. Boom, boom, bum, boom, bum, bum, okay? So do that, and then here's a little inversion one on the GB high E string. Okay, and then this one. And then just go back down. Okay, now this is a great time for you to keep practicing your rhythmic skills too. So if you look in the top left of the chart, GBD equals a G major triad. Now I know a lot of people will say too, you put too much in here, but look, just take one piece. You don't have to take every element I'm gonna show you in this lesson, which there's chapters in here and made it easy for you, and you'll be a better player. It's just about connecting the dots. Some dots are smaller than others people's dots today. That's the fact of the matter. Somebody on this lesson, I guarantee you, is going to learn GBD is a G major triad. So, okay, shank. Okay, so practice that. Let's go to the next triad, and this would be the 4 chord in a G major scale out of G major. Excuse me. So C, E, G. So C, E, G. Now there's the first shape here. These are all the shapes I showed you, but obviously you're just starting with this shape for C down here, and then here, and then here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these triads, mix them up into little triadal, is that a word? Triadal, triadic chord progressions. And then we're gonna mix in the scales. We're gonna be making music, okay? So C, E, G, C, E, G, and then G, C, E. And if you want to know the theory behind it, the G, C, E, that shape, that looks like a D major open chord shape, which it is. That is a second inversion because you have a G as the lowest fundamental note in that triad. Now, why are these triads so great? Well, because it takes a certain amount of flow or control with your rhythm hand, with your strumming hand, to not hit all these extra strings when you're doing it. So you could do something like this. Okay, so try this. Just going back and down between the triads. Okay? So, and then that's what you're going to get into too, is you're going to create little licks out of the triads. And you hear people saying, oh, soloing with triads. Well, that's where it starts. It's just creating little fills, little grooves, keeping that rhythmic flow going, okay? Okay, let's look at the 5 chord in the key of G, D. So there it is. D, F sharp, A. Okay, now D, F sharp, A. Boom, that's easy. We got 1 sharp in the key of G. Maybe you learned that today and that's all you learned. That's fine. You don't have to learn overwhelming amounts of information. Guitar takes years. You're not going to get 30 years of guitar experience in 30 minutes, like some of the videos on YouTube say. Just doesn't happen. All right, so let's look at this. D, F sharp, A. Okay, and then this one, D, F sharp, A. Just like on the chart. Oops, excuse me, that was C. Here's D here, okay? So let's try that. Let's go back and forth between just the Ds, okay? So we're arpeggiating it. Trying not to shank. Sorry, I was hitting some open strings in there. And you know, that happens. Like, don't worry about it. If you're trying to arpeggiate some of these triads, and you get like an open high E in there, whatever, just roll with it. It's just you creating music and being musical. Okay, so you have 3 triads per each chord. You have the G's, okay? G's. You have the C's, right? You have C's. You have the D's. Okay, so there's that. So just, if you want, in this lesson, just work on the triads, okay? So let's go to the scale part, and we can add in some like little grooves or little fills, or just try and create some kind of rhythmic flow using those. Okay, so here's the first chart, G major. And what I did on these for you is I wanted to go from low E to high E, okay? So we're gonna kind of stay vertical. We could have gone horizontal. These scales are all over the neck, but let's just do this. So just run the G major, okay? And again, super important on the top left, G1, Roman numeral 1, it's the 1 chord, Ionian, fancy modal name for major, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, right? 1 sharp in the key of G major. All right, so blah, 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 okay? So maybe part of your practice today just involves you maybe taking this G triad. Maybe this is all you do. It's okay, okay? This G triad, and then you do the G major scale off of that. So like, doesn't have to be super fancy. Like, remember, I'm always saying you gotta walk before you can run, right? So you might try that and then just try and do some little licks out of the G major scale there, okay? Maybe you do like a little groove out of the scale you see here on the chart and you just go from that into the G major triad. The biggest thing you want to focus on is you want to always keep that rhythmic flow. So keep the flow going. Like, practice your muting too, you know, really pay attention to what this hand's doing. If you have a bunch of extra strings ringing out that you don't want ringing out, so just stop and kind of like self-reflect and analyze why that's happening. Okay, let's move on to C Lydian. Now here's where people get all crazy confused. If you look at this, yes, we're starting on C, okay? You just run the scale. Now, all those notes in that scale are exactly the same notes out of G major. We just have a different starting point, or like we're just having a different flavor, a different, and that's all it is. So, okay, and that's it. So you don't have, it's just a rearranged G major scale. Now I haven't put the G's in red, so you're keenly aware of where those are in the chart, okay? So you could do something like this. You could go back to that G major triad, okay? Because don't rob yourself of the ear training too. Like really listen. Like when you're doing these things, we're not just doing them to do them. Because the number one thing I think we want to get out of them is the ear training, right? Your ears will always be your best asset you have over everything else. Ears are everything, okay? So maybe you could just strum that first G major triad in that first chart, right? The very first one right here. Diagonal shape one on the DGB strings, okay? And then go play something out of C Lydian. So you can kind of clearly start to hear it has a certain flavor to it. It has a certain vibe. Let's just call it vibe, all right? So I'm just trying to give you another position, C Lydian, which would be the 4 chord, the 4 chord in the key of G major. It's also the 4th mode, and we're just starting from C. It's just a rearranged G major scale. And I just did a whole lesson on all the modes in G major on the EAD strings. So again, you don't have to learn all of this lesson. Just look at the chapters in here. Just focus on just this. Maybe you just want to learn. Okay, you want to learn that C Lydian is the 4th mode in the key of G major, and you want to try and relate, you know, how you hear it relating to G, okay? So, see, maybe you want to try and land on that G inside of the scale, kind of have that as a little home base, and let your ear hear how that sounds. So there's C Lydian. Enough of that. Let's go on to the last mode. Scale. Modes of scale, right? So D Mixolydian. Just run it, okay? Just run it. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, and to D. So just a fun way to run a few modes. Again, if you notice, has all the same notes that you have in G major. It's just a rearranged G major scale. So you could just do the same thing, create a little groove out of that. Maybe do the G major triad. Okay? Remember, because you're in control of where you go, you're going to stop on certain notes, you're going to hold on certain notes, you're going to not play certain notes, you're going to leave space for you. That's what makes you, you, and the way I play is what makes me, me. But you can try things to kind of keep moving the bar forward for yourself, okay? So those are the 3 scales. Those are all the triads. Now, we'll just wrap this up. Let's get rid of the last chart. All the charts are linked below. Go back, rewind this, look at some of the chapters, and you can kind of create your own little things. Maybe what you can do is just start with the triads, right? And just do like different progressions. Like, so let's do this G to the C triad to the D. Just walk it right up. Now maybe this time we do the G here, and then we do the C and D here on the G, B, high, E string, that shape. You have all these in the chart. I'm not using anything that's not in the charts, okay? Okay, you can create as many, you can hang on it for as many bars as you want. Just do whatever you need to do to really hear it and get comfortable with it. When you get comfortable with it, you can do something like I did there. Just do like a little lick out of the triad, like this. And if you hit a shank note, it's okay. It's just part of practice. Maybe I'll walk up. See, so that time I walked up the triads, just different areas. So you just want to come up with different combinations of those triads. So instead of just playing open G, C, open D, you're using triads now. And you can go back to the open chords. I didn't put any of those in this lesson or in the charts, but that's kind of what you want to do. And then when you get comfortable with that, then see if you can mix in one scale. Maybe we'll do this. Let's do let's keep it straight to the point. So we'll do G, C, D, okay? And then we'll just do a little lick out of the G major scale right here. Okay? But try and keep it clean. So okay. So that's all you're trying to do. Now, I gave you a bunch of little pieces. You have all the charts. So all you want to do is use your musicality and go in and create music, right? Because if we're not creating music, what are we doing this for? All right. I think I made it through this fairly well. Do not catch the flu. I took one for the team. If you're new, would love to keep you. And you guys, just keep going. Start connecting the dots one day at a time. So like I said, don't beat yourself up. If there's a bunch of stuff in here you don't get, it's okay. The stuff takes time. So maybe your dot is something smaller. Maybe you just learn how to construct a G major triad. And you know, oh, I know it's GBD. Beautiful. That's you're a step ahead of a lot of people out there. Maybe you learn that C Lydian and D Mixolydian are the 4th and 5th modes of G major, and that's nothing more than a rearranged G major scale. You're just kind of shifting the tonal center. Again, you're the pilot of this beautiful thing called guitar. All right, I have said enough. It feels good to get back on the horse. The flu was awful, and it wasn't fun being away from here. But let's keep this train rolling. I can't believe how channel just keeps growing. You guys are amazing. And I will see you in the next video. Only you can stop you. You won't stop. You'll keep going. Check out some of these videos or playlists. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.